Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Dave's Painters, where I talk about some of the work that we're doing, some of the things that you can do as a homeowner to kind of fast track your process if you're painting, and other things, tips and tricks that you can have along the way that will help you if you ever do hire a professional contractor. So I wanted to start with the weather permitting stuff that we're doing this season, the exterior work. When I started the exterior projects that we were doing, mainly we started with things like decks, pillars, front doors, garage doors. Those are the types of exterior projects that you do on a smaller scale, but on a larger scale, you're talking about full refinishing of aluminum siding, vinyl siding, peaks. There's certain areas in the trim, the eaves trough, sometimes they need cleaned out, refinished from the bottom end. Most of the work that we did starting this season was pillars. Now, when you're doing pillars and refinishing pillars, you have to understand that sometimes these builders, they move very quickly when they put these together. The main thing that we saw was people who didn't have pillars that had sealant or caulking in the bases of the pillars. What happens then is over the course of time, there's moisture that gets put in that area and then it rots from the inside out. Another thing that you can consider, especially when you're doing your pillars, is they have a base color that they use, or a base tint for the paint that is on the pillars. Now, every person that owns a home is willing to paint them whatever tint you want, but you have to factor in there is a design scheme there for a reason. So for example, if you paint your pillars white and all the trim surrounding your house is a country red mixed with a khaki brown, it's not going to fit with the rest of the design of your home. So even though you did refinish your pillars and they do look nice as far as the tint goes or the paint product goes, it may not match the color scheme that you're looking to achieve. The colors matter because it's a first impression. When you're making a first impression with your home, the color that you choose for your home makes a big difference. If people aren't choosing the colors that you typically use when you're refinishing the outside of your home, and especially colors that complement the other color, it will look a little off when people see it at first glance. Now, anybody that wants to sell their home will know that curb appeal matters. Front door, garage door, pillars, color scheme, that all gives the first impression to somebody who's looking to buy a home. This is why it matters. Also, aside from the color, the finish that you're using matters as well. For the pillars, most people were going with a semi-gloss finish. Interior trim, doors, any sort of trim related projects, sometimes crown molding, it's all semi-gloss finish, which is the same that they're using in the exterior too. You can also lighten the sheen a little bit by using a satin finish. So a satin finish is just a little bit less shiny, but still gives you the same protective finish that you're looking for. The reason that people get their pillars refinished is because they want them not only to look good from curb appeal, but they also want them to last. So there's no rotting of the wood if you have wood pillars. If you're using a hardy board type product, same thing. You want it protected from the weather. This is why your product choice matters. I want to mention the main color that was being used as an example for the pillars, and then you can kind of get your own idea of what matches for your home. So the first tint that we had was called James Hardy Khaki Brown. And this was a specific type of brown, almost like a beige. And that was the color scheme that was used not just on the pillars, but also on the trim as well. Now, this matters because color schemes and designs matter. Any of the major home builders that you see in your area all have specific color schemes and designs and designers that work on these color schemes to make sure that it still has that curb appeal. Considering that things are being done very quickly on a large scale of building homes, a lot of the times they're small small things, cosmetic, that are missed. Covering nail holes, making sure caulking is consistent along all the gaps, making sure you seal the joints when you have two pieces connected together. These are small things that can get missed when you're rushing through a project or trying to maintain deadlines. This is why it's important for you to understand you can purchase these products yourself and you can do the refinishing yourself if you know how to do it and if you apply them correctly. I'm going to tell you the quick difference between cheap paint and really good paint and why it matters. Lots of people purchase the cheap stuff because they want to save money. But what you don't realize is some of these product manufacturers actually liquefy it more, thin out the paint more, whatever additive they're using, in order to make sure that they can give you more volume of paint for less money. The problem with that is when you're applying the paint, the coverage matters. If you can get away with doing something in less coats of paint and achieve the same finish, the nice finish you're looking for, you will then rather do that than have to apply more coats of paint to get that nice finished product that you're looking for. If you purchase cheaper paint, you will risk having to do more coats of paint versus getting a more relevant product when it comes to price point and when it comes to tint match. If you think that you can get away with something like that by purchasing a cheaper product, that's how the companies are getting you. There are good products that are at affordable rates. You just have to know the difference between the two in order to determine what is the best for your situation. So a cheap product will have cheap results. A good product will have good results. So everybody knows there's different types of finishes for a reason, because there's different surfaces that you're applying the paint to. Interior walls are a drywall surface, as exterior walls are a wood finish or an aluminum finish or a vinyl finish. A lot of people are going with cheaper siding so that they can have the same results without having to spend so much money. This is why the paint finish matters too. If you do not do the correct finish, you will not get the correct results. I want to give you an example from a customer that I had. I went aside a certain area to be able to canvas for new customers for painting. One of these women had gotten a student to paint her house a year prior. That student painted all of the siding in a dark paint that was not the correct finish for the siding. And what happened was it warped all of this woman's siding all the way around her home. And the reason that happened was a combination of the heat and using the incorrect product. This is why it's so important to know your products.